Hello and welcome to the final back nine of the FPO lead card of 2025 Northwest Disc Golf Championship presented by Latitude 64. We are here on Championship Sunday at Glendoveer on the back nine.
Yeah.
I'm Allie Smith.
I'm Madison Walker, and it is the back nine if you didn't know.
The third time?
Yeah. It is exciting out here right now. There's only 2 strokes separating first and second place. Check out holdmybagdg.com. It's fantasy for disc golfers by disc golfers. We did a little blurb about it before, and we're happy to have them as a sponsor of our Jomez coverage. But yeah, there is so much that can happen on this back nine, and the wind does pick up. We've had a pretty wind-free practice week, so it was a little chaotic out there, and it was coming from a bit of a different direction as well. So 2 strokes is not much. There's a little bit more separation as you head down the rest of the leaderboard, but we've got a battle here at Glendoveer Disc Golf Course for the Northwest Disc Golf Championships.
Starting us off on hole 10 on the par 4 is a new tee pad here. 560 feet, we're looking for the birdie. You need to throw something that's going to turn to the right and get to the right of these 2 trees we're flying past. And the real danger is the second shot. You have an OB green, a hazard bunker before the green, and the basket is perched up on a mound with rollaway potentials all over the place and OB directly behind.
If you could see trauma in physical form, there would be a cloud over this mound. It is so brutal. It has ruined many a round. The OB is inside the circle, and you are really feeling that on the putting green. Didn't you say this was changed from last year, right?
Yes, this was changed. So this hole we're seeing right now is 560. Last year it played 605, and the basket or the tee pad was a little more to the right side. And we had a double mandatory to throw between.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Right. And it was like kind of 3 smaller gaps to hit. Here we kind of have 2 pretty large gaps to hit. And it tells you where to throw your disc, to the right.
Yeah. You can go left as well. There's an OB line over there, though. It's a little tricky. It does shorten the hole a bit, but it's also a little bit too risky to consider the reward. The right gap, like Allie said, is the way that most players are going to go. And still, with the easier setup here, I would say more fair. I don't want to say easier. Mm-hmm. It's playing at this as the second most difficult hole of the day.
Yeah, last year we only played this layout twice, and so we saw this play as the 3rd most difficult and 4th most difficult, so still very difficult.
Yeah.
But where we're seeing the difference is the number of birdies. So last year there was 4 birdies total over those 2 rounds, and just yesterday on this hole we had 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huge change, and but like a really nice birdie percentage for the FPO field is what keeps it exciting to watch. Most of the time this hole plays difficult due to the large amount of OB strokes that are added on this green. The tee shot is pretty safe. You're not really worried about anything besides positioning, of course. But you have to see a lot of decision making here. You do see a lot of rollaways, and especially on this shot too, the green does come into play that's short of the basket.
We saw Holyn throw that roller off the tee because there's no out of bounds, no danger on the right. She's so far up. Now the tree isn't even in contention. She can just chip up an approach disc right into the hill. And
making it look so easy. I think we'll see a lot more players considering the roller next year.
That's a big moment for Holyn. She's coming off of a bogey par on the last 2 holes and kind of a down slump, perhaps you could call it. You know, Missy earned a few strokes back, and we saw Missy's approach hit this tree, so she's outside the circle. This is a scary putt. Missy knows she's got to go for it.
Yeah, I think we're seeing slightly less birdies on this one today. Oh, just because of trying to be aggressive and go for this. Missy looks like she just went through the chains.
No.
There it is.
Fortunate to stay safe. Is still going to add a stroke, but frustrating nonetheless. Smart.
Yep. Yeah, there was 12 birdies yesterday and only 6 today. And
leaves it a little low. That's uncharacteristic after that first miss.
Paige going to be one of those 6 birdies today. 14 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation, over half the field, and 17 to circle 2. But it's just really hard to commit to this putt, and oftentimes very punishing if you do miss it, even by just a little bit. Usually more punishing if you only miss by a little bit.
Yeah, hole 10 in last year, we only had 6 total C1 in regulation.
Wow.
So that
a
change,
nice change. Yeah.
definitely helpful.
But still hard.
Right.
Still hard.
So it didn't just make it easy and give us a stroke. You know, it actually was an intentional change.
And just like that, we double the advantage Holyn has. 2 strokes to now 4 ahead of Missy Gannon, heading into a beast of a par 5. It's 1,070 feet, but we do have a lot of downhill to help make that distance feel shorter. They pinch the OB lines on the left and right, making the second shot require a lot more brain power than it did last year. Used to be able to just open up and potentially even push into this tree line. Your third shot now, I feel like kind of stretches out because you're being a lot more careful on your second shot. You can see distance drivers, fairway drivers, even mid-ranges way down to the bottom of this hill. And it is one of the most fun shots of the tournament.
We saw Paige go, this left gap yesterday. Let's see if she can get away clean. Not quite. I'd like to see what that full flight looks like.
Me too. I'm so curious what she sees over there. I looked at it today during the round, and I didn't see anything.
Nothing more advantageous than this.
Especially Paige is so good at this type of a shot. But maybe just trying to shorten the hole and get an eagle look.
I wonder if maybe Paige has played disc golf for so long that, like, that's boring. Why, like
she's just trying to keep things interesting.
Interesting yet and advancing her game. Like taking the more challenging approach.
Yeah, definitely. And I think she does thrive on trying to find those new lines and really bending the holes. And it does result in people learning new stuff for sure, pushing the field as a whole.
Yeah, because maybe that pans out and she's able to get a really clean second shot and can get up and down to just eagle.
Yep.
It'd be like something to look for.
The route that we see Missy taking, that right side route, there was a pretty stiff headwind today, but it seems like our competitors managed to fare well.
Oh, this is nose up. There's an out of bounds line that's headed right towards.
Yeah.
And that's really short. She's at the top of the hill still.
Yeah, maybe not even able to get up and down from there. We'll see. It takes a very particular shot and a very strict angle to get all the way down there.
Cat sneaks that around all those last trees.
And she's not quite as far as you would hope to be on your second. She had to kind of throw a little bit away from the basket. It was pinched off by the big trees, but she could potentially get something down in putting range. Missy with a more common second shot that we see in a lot of the FPO field. Really nice big turning shot.
I'd like to see her start to throw maybe some more overstable. Like if she threw something that had a little more stability at the end, like she's getting
big distance.
Way more. I mean, she's got plenty of distance.
Just more.
Yeah.
And Paige with speaking of big distance, that is a huge shot.
Whoa.
Just working a hyzer way down the right side and coming in kind of like backdoor on to the green area. I don't think she got quite to circle 2, but she's in putting range.
Holyn's pinched up on a tree and has to go for a standstill forehand, so taking a lot of distance away from that shot.
And from this camera angle, it looks like the fairway's so wide. Like you can see the OB stake way on the right side, and there's OB, maybe a 50 or 60 feet to the left of where Cat is. But the downhill that you're throwing down, kind of blind, it doesn't feel as wide as it looks. And then, here's this really fun final shot down to the green. Cat with a really nice angle control.
That was well executed, yeah. And it's kind of hard to see where the basket is from like this angle here. And actually, I had a lot of fans telling me about how they opt for green discs because they will land and be illuminated in those shadows
Yeah.
here. The one stumpy tree we were talking about yesterday.
She's beautiful,
Yeah.
but how frustrating.
Holyn needs to get this one close to get up and down. Save par. Maybe not save, but to achieve a par.
She'll be inside the circle. This is one that for some reason I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to have a birdie putt every time. And then you throw your 2 shots and you're like, wait a second. This is kind of hard.
Yeah.
It's far.
And you have to hit the gap late in that third shot.
Paige not quite getting the finish on the putter. She's going to have to settle for a bogey stroke here.
Doesn't look like this will be a better angle.
Yeah, blind putt from Missy. Wow. Drawing koozie. Just a little more height needed for that birdie putt. That was huge.
There we go.
Yes. Cat ironing things out a little bit as we move into the back 9. Getting 1 of 7 birdies on hole 11 today.
Squeaks that one in. Click the bogey. Bogey's not bad from being out of bounds.
Yeah,
pretty
that early. On her second shot, too.
Yes. That's a really good birdie. That's confidence builder for Holyn.
Yeah, that's huge. Only 7 players got to circle 1 in regulation, and Holyn doing it when she needs to.
Opening that gap to 5 strokes now.
Man, that happens so fast.
Yeah. And it's not like anything, like one bogey that we see Missy's taken. It hasn't been anything. Just a lot of birdies, a lot of green.
Yep, Holyn stringing a couple together here. Moving into another hole that's very birdieable.
Hole 12, par 3. Slightly uphill, but it's directly in front of you. You do have a mandatory, so you can't throw a hyzer around everything. You can throw a little flex backhand. I think most people are opting for maybe like a putter, midge, something you can throw straight. I mean, I think Missy maybe is throwing Captain's Thrasher or a Thrasher, and that's great. Whatever you can throw to execute the shot to the basket, who cares? If you throw a driver, you throw a putter, a birdie's a birdie.
Yep. We had a little bit of, I believe, a right to left wind here. There's not any real advantage to throwing something faster or slower. It seems like all discs kind of slow down as they get to the green. You will see some players kind of chipping a little bit more out to the right or left. We just saw Holyn a little bit more right. Just trying to make sure you don't land behind those big trees that can block putts.
And the grass is grabby.
It's so grabby.
There's a few hard pan, like dirt spots, but between that is really grabby grass. So try to...
Yeah, it's funny when you hit one of those spots, you're like, whoa.
Velcro.
Yeah.
Good height for the uphill.
Wow.
Pin it. Put some pressure on Holyn's putt there.
Look at this thing. Just the perfect amount of turn. Squeaking right around that last big guardian tree. Boop, boop, up to the basket. And even though this green is so much more reachable than a lot of the par 3s we play, only 12 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation. So it's still tough to get to. You can see Paige not quite getting the turn on the disc that she wanted. It was weird this part of the course as well, even though it was windy. It got really hot. So all of a sudden you're like trying to shed layers. You're like, what is this? It turns into a pretty strong sun. And then you get right back into this shade. And it is cool and breezy. Pacific Northwest stuff. Oh, man.
Dead center. Just an inch low.
Holyn closer than I thought. I didn't realize she got that nice finish inside the circle. Good enough for a birdie. A little fist pump to the audience, too.
Yeah. That's a turkey. 3 in a row.
Yes, it is.
Nice birdie from Kat. I'm going to get her 2. Oh, sorry. She had a chip up that we didn't talk about.
Oh, Missy with a really good tap-in birdie.
Kind of what I was saying, right? She threw the thrasher, and it's like, who cares? Throw the distance driver. It's under 300.
Yep.
It don't matter.
Oh, and Scoggins 6 down through 15.
Success is not linear. It takes time and it takes belief. A belief that there is no ceiling and that the bar can always rise higher. A belief that if you set your sights to the horizon, the future will meet you there. That no matter who you are or what you've done, there's always something to prove. Disc golf was built on the backs of people who dream. And out here, what started as a dream is now a decade-long catalyst that turns dreams to moments. In our 10th season, we invite you to join us as we celebrate this beautiful game and all the moments that make it great. Catch all the action, all season long, live on the Disc Golf Network.
Hole 13. What I think is the easiest hole. 280 feet. You're going to see most players kind of opt for a wide backhand going to hyzer in. This is kind of the straight gap the drone is flying through. There is like 2 sets of trees that these ladies are going to try to hyzer through. It is kind of hard to get your disc to bend left late in the flight while still staying committed. Not a lot of more else to say there.
Yeah, it's really player's choice here. Do you want to take a risk and go on one of the inside gaps, or just like throw it as hard as you can to get that big late hyzer that you need to go through that final gap? I'm like pretty committed to those straighter gaps.
Mm-hmm.
I take my chance with the trees and it's paid off nicely, but I think this big hyzer gap, if you have it, is the play.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone's a hyzer thrower. You work that.
Well, hyzer this far, because it says 280, but I mean, it's a pretty stout rip, especially uphill. I think it feels like every bit of like 330 or 340 on a pure hyzer.
And I bet it is, because I bet that 280 is measured from tee to to basket directly.
Mm-hmm.
It's the hypotenuse. This is good.
Hit us with some math.
Holyn puts it near the bullseye, and Missy puts it just a bit further outside. She'll get to putt first. It looks like there's a little bit of a headwind from those leaves right above Kat's head.
Yeah, headwind right to left.
And finds that tree in the early gap there. Tom looking at the trees. Back.
Admiring. Paige coming in hot, but it checks out nicely inside the circle.
It's interesting to see the ground play and how those discs are like hitting the ground and then just ricocheting directly left.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not really getting the fade. They're really just getting a lot of skip.
Yep. Playing the skip.
Mm-hmm.
And that is harder than it sounds. For your disc to travel that far and still have that much spin is so impressive. Paige with a nice birdie putt as well. And she is playing some decent disc golf, just not quite able to string a bunch together, sprinkling some bogeys here and there. Missy also going to card the birdie here, 2 in a row for her. She's hitting those clutch putts with Holyn closer, but running out of time a little bit with Holyn playing so solid.
Yeah, locking in, taking her time, and really committing to her routine. I believe that's 4 in a row. What do we got?
Oh, yeah. We usually stick with the same bird all week.
Okay.
And thanks to Ranger Matthew for the suggestions. We're gonna stay with the Pacific Wren.
I'm not gonna try and imitate the sound.
No, don't.
Oh, come on.
No, it's like impossible. But I will play it. The folks loved when we played it last week, so I'll pull her up.
You can pull it up. I'll talk. 14. Yeah. Par 4, 610 feet. You have an OB line to the right. A lot of these ladies are going to throw through those two trees. We did see some go around with a big Annie backhand or just a big mashup of forehand. The hard shot here is the second one because the OB is inside the circle left, and you don't really have anything to aim at on the right side for the backhand hyzer. You have to trust your practice, know your distance and your disc selection, and let it do the work off the ground.
Yeah, that second shot is so hard. It's so easy to let go just a little bit too early or put a little too much hyzer and find that OB on the left side where the Pacific Wrens hang out. Here we go. I'll play a little call for you guys.
You couldn't have told me that was actual video footage sound. And
it blends right in.
That was great. I really want you to imitate it though. So people in the comments let her know you want to too. This is the through the gap. She lets it hyzer out a little early. That's perfectly fine to avoid that out of bounds.
Yeah. It doesn't even look like she was really trying to get that much turn on it. It is just nice though to make that second shot shorter and you can throw a lower speed disc. Whoa, Paige really airing it out. It's strange how your disc will flip perfectly the whole round, and then you get to this shot, and for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the wind kind of ripping up the tunnel a little bit, but you can't quite get your disc to turn as much as you want. You can see even Kat's forehand just wanting to push left. I don't know what is happening here, but it's pretty common. I watched it happen to a lot of card mates today, and our lead card as well. Kat's probably every bit of, 320 right now away?
I was going to say, yeah, at least. Definitely a distance driver. Let it air out, hyzer in. More of a spiking angle. Yep, that'll be good for a green flag. Controlling that spike versus skip is key. Yeah, maybe like at Milo, how they put the little signs with the distances. That might be helpful for this hole. Just for the spectators and viewers.
Yeah, especially because the fairway opens up so much with those big trees. It's very difficult to tell how far it is.
Missy left hers a little short like she did yesterday. Kind of played it exactly the same. And Holyn does the same as well, which is closer and puts it inside the circle at advantage Holyn there.
Yeah, both players not taking a big risk. You kind of do want to play a little bit more aggressive, but I always wonder at what point are players kind of starting to take their foot off the gas a little bit. Like, we know that Missy wants to continue getting birdies, but like, is it worth it to go for this shot with OB so close? Come on, baby. Oh.
Right, because there's a winner's attitude, and then there's like a realistic.
Yeah,
I'm aware of the scores. I know what's going on. I'm aware of my abilities.
And like, you can push too hard and it blow up.
Right, because between second and third is thousands of dollars, and you don't need to make silly mistakes pushing in hopes that Holyn will make mistakes and you'll capitalize.
Yep, and Holyn just not making mistakes.
You know what that is?
Oh, it's 5 in a row.
5 in a row. Ooh. Biggie bag.
This Pacific Wren is eating good. 2 biggie bags in 2 days.
Holyn provides. Great birdie from Kat.
Yeah. A little stare down to the crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, collects her par.
Yeah. Missy definitely running out of time here a little bit.
Yeah.
It is hard to call it, though, at this point, because hole 18 is wild.
Yes.
Hole 17 and 18 both can stack strokes quickly.
Yep, and like I said, there's wind, there's stress. We still have 2 holes. It's funny that we kind of forget about 16 and 15.
Yeah.
They're par threes. They're similar in nature.
Yeah.
And
On this tee pad today, I literally was like, oh, I got 3 more holes. Isn't that weird? But they're not forgettable holes. So hole 15 is a very difficult par 3. It's 335 feet, same tee pad and basket that the MPO plays. And you can feel that. It's a distance driver shot through very, very dense woods with an OB line on the right side that can come into play quickly if you happen to catch a tree on the wrong side. The OB on the left side is there as well, but there's so many trees, it is tough to find it. It's a little bit unlucky if you make it that far left. This is a hole that can sneak a bogey on you real quick. If you catch a tree early, the trees are spaced in such a way that sometimes it's difficult to find your way to the green on the second.
Holyn going to show us that high flexing forehand, hitting absolutely nothing, but leaves it wide, and that's.
I feel like that was my fault.
I think so.
It was definitely my fault. Commentators curse. Kat going to try it as well. She turns that out of her hand. It burns in time before it gets to the out of bounds. We'll see what she has for an approach over there.
Big deep breath from Missy. That is her routine times 2. She's going to show us the backhand line with her thrasher. Get a little turn off the tree. Yeah.
She hit the exact same tree yesterday. Oh, it's so brutal. It's so close to being perfect.
I was following Chase Card, and the out of bounds actually circles the entire hole, like backside of it. And as we're seeing Paige here, it's almost snuck back in, but Valerie threw it 350 feet, just a foot inbound safe directly behind the basket.
Really?
Yeah.
Just crushed it.
It was an obstructed no putt.
Yeah, Valerie is ripping a disc right now.
Yes.
Going so far. Missy with a tricky little approach for her par. But look how smooth. Almost throws it in.
Yep. She knows she needs to. She's on them.
I think that was on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Paige trying to save the par. Oh, my goodness. She is so close to sinking these huge putts.
After finding out of bounds, let's see what Holyn. Yeah. That's a really good effort. I mean,
Yeah, it was. Really direct little Anheuser putt. This can be scary to run sometimes. Paige unfortunately sprinkling another bogey in. This plate is the 4th most difficult hole today. There's only 3 birdies. Shout out to Taylor Kochek, Emily Weatherman, and Rebecca Dawn, all getting to circle 1. Heck yeah, those are some good drives.
Kat throws that forehand hard. That really just showed the slow-mo. I was like, dang. Yeah, so 5 strokes for Holyn here going into hole 16. 330, this is a pretty flat shot. It almost kind of mimics the backhand flex of the previous hole, but you've got a lot less to contend with. Just a few large trees at the end of the flight to kind of hyzer back into. I think we could see a forehand from Holyn. I'm not sure what the wind. I think it kind of normally has a lot of wind around it with it being pretty open. We've seen it aced in the past by Maria and Annika Stin.
And when I stand on that tee pad, those aces are so impressive. What was the distance? 330?
Yes.
And it plays every bit of that. And it is always windy here. Kat turning that forehand. I like the idea here, but very surprised to see her opt for the forehand instead of the backhand.
Yeah, I'd like to see her throw like a strike or something that's going to kind of get the flip and turn and fade.
Missy not quite getting the turn on it that she wants. It was scary to try to force a disc to flip in the wind today. It was a pretty shifty, gusty headwind, and that OB line on the right side is definitely in play.
Yeah, and here's that power forehand, just one angle hyzer, let it flip a little bit to flat. That's really good.
Such a good shot. She makes that look so easy.
You ever had anyone be like, was that your throw? Her laying her disc behind.
No, that's kind of funny.
Paige throws the shot we were kind of describing pretty perfectly there.
It was beautiful. Still trying to stack some birdies. She is a fierce competitor. Kat Mertsch with a little chip shot. She's going to go forehand. No. The one big guardian tree you have to miss.
It's hard to read the depth sometimes out here at Milo if you aren't range finding everything with the way of the shadows and the light. Like, I didn't even know where the basket was until Missy putted right there. You know, I wasn't even focused in on where it's actually at. So,
and if you do just go aggressive mode, it's so easy to skip past too because all the greens are super hard pan. Kat gonna have to settle for another bogey. Holyn with a birdie look, straddled out wide around one of these huge trees.
Yeah, fine with a par. She really just needs to kind of coast to the finish.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it's really hard.
It is sometimes hard.
Wonderful birdie.
Answering back to her bogeys. There were 7 birdies on hole 16 today. You hope for a few more than that, but again, every par 3 at Glendoveer is challenging. Requires a very, very specific shot. You almost get to these holes and you're like, oh, I can relax a little bit, but then you pay.
16 did have out of bounds around it, so
yeah,
that's some danger.
Yeah, that right line comes up quick. Owen Scoggins with the hot round of the day, 7 down through 17. Here is
hole 17, par 4, 550 feet. We argued yesterday a little bit of the play here. You're flying through the kind of the standard play of poke and hope, throw it towards the bunker, don't go in the bunker, and find a gap, navigate through these trees. I think that there is a gap on the right side after your first throw if you want to throw a forehand off the tee or something that's going to turn backhand off the tee. And then hyzer approach backhand from there. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's just a little bit risky because you have to push that OB line on the right from the tee shot. It's very easy to find that OB line. Paige is going to go way out to the left side and work that part of the fairway. She throws far enough that she gets deep into the tree line. That is incredible.
Yeah, I think that's the shot we've been seeing Paige attempt a lot this weekend. This kind of almost seems like it's a really early release, really understable Frisbee, but that did it this time.
That wasn't so good. It's going to make the hole so much easier. Missy going to play to that left side as well. There is stuff over there, but like Allie, I think the right side of the fairway in general is better for approaches, but it was a little scary today with the wind, and you really don't want to let your disc get away from you and head OB right, because it can be very difficult to recover from over there.
And I wonder if that stump that we saw the players going over on their second shot yesterday is like a recent like fallen tree or something. I don't remember from previous years.
Oh, it could be, because it's definitely more open over there than I remember.
Right.
Kat gonna work that right side. That's so pretty.
That's a good correction from yesterday. We checked in with her card, and she kind of had one get away from her. Got lucky and stayed in bounds, but that was more controlled.
Missy just looking like she's throwing at a wall. I never go over here, so I'm not 100% sure what she's working with. It seems like, a lot of trees.
Yeah. But she's past the stump now, so it should be pretty clear. There's nothing on this right side of Holyn right now. She's got an open line to the basket. Slow moving Frisbee.
That's perfect.
Well done. She should be able to take a nice, deep breath of air now. Mm-hmm. Knowing her, she's not, though.
Kat trying to get this forehand to turn a little bit more, and it's going to trickle OB on the right side. I mean, she's throwing so many forehands out here today. We know she has one, but she's really utilizing it more than I feel like we've seen her in a long time.
She's been putting a lot of work into it. I mean, I played a go-throw event with her the first of the year, and I was watching her every day go out and just practice forehands in the field.
Work on that timing. Paige with a really great approach shot. The drive paid off. Missy also throwing her third.
You can see her really kind of running those with that green fierce. She knows she's got to try to get any stroke possible. You putt with black putters.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, it's just what I found.
Okay.
In matching pairs.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's kind of hard to find matching pairs in the MVP plastic with the randomized rim and flight plate. So yeah, it's just what I found.
They don't like get hot on the ground.
No, not noticeably.
Okay.
Although we've been, in a perpetual spring this year. It's cold every single weekend. I swear.
And then when it's going to be summer, we're going to be in Europe.
Yeah.
North Europe.
Yeah. Where it is also going to be cold. Yeah. A couple of good birdies from Holyn and Paige on 17. Holyn with a really nice cushion going into the final hole. What a performance from her this weekend. She played great at Milo McIver, but she's really popped off at Glendoveer. Really showing that distance is a huge advantage at this course specifically, especially her controlled distance. Here's that final hole. We keep talking so much about it. Actually was a tie for a 6th most difficult hole today, so people figuring it out. Surprising because it was a little bit windy out there today. You can see the OB everywhere. We don't have to talk about it. The tee shot is the meat of the hole. It's very, very... No, the whole thing is meaty.
Yeah.
The tee shot's challenging, though. You have to decide whether to try to place it between the OB pond and the very tight OB left or go over it. And after that, it's just kind of playing where your disc lies. None of the shots are easy because the OB is so close on that left-hand side. Backhand feels risky. Forehand is a huge advantage on this hole if you've got one.
A lot of space over there. It always kind of initially looks like it's going to fade OB, but it opens up right there. It's a crushed shot. Do you think anybody can get to the pin from there?
I don't think so.
Right.
I think I mean, obviously it's just too wild of a shot, but
like if I gave Paige 10 frisbees and said,
oh no, definitely.
Yeah,
she definitely could. Yeah. I think Holyn could too,
Right.
but it's just, not quite worth the risk, obviously.
event,
Yeah.
yes.
But I think like where Paige's tee shot landed a little bit more left than where Holyn is, I think for sure it could be reachable by a distance driver.
A little swoop from Missy, but it'll be okay. Check up in the Velcro grass.
Oof.
Yeah.
Half expected Kat to pull out a forehand here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh man, she's gonna triple OB early, and going OB on that right side is tough. This shot is so pinched off with the Mando and the OB line. It's a great looking forehand though. Getting around the Mando tree.
But we'll leave herself in that kind of middle area. It's tough in those trees. This is where you want to be.
Yeah, this is a scary backhand. You can see her really making sure to turn that disc, and in turn she's going to be in that line of trees. We'll see what she has to work with for her third shot to the green.
And that's why the advantage here for the forehand only having kind of one shape that the flight will have, just out and in, versus the out, in, and back from the forehand.
Man, Holyn just crushing forehands right now. Man, it is so crazy to watch. It's so far.
It is. It's so me coming from watching a lot of coverage as a fan, nobody threw forehands.
No.
I remember,
and if they did, it was like 300 feet.
I mean, I even actually can remember a quote Paige saying, "I only have a 250-foot forehand." And I was like, I can throw farther than that on a forehand. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, nobody really maybe needed to. You know, it hurts. I mean, I guess Sarah Hokum is actually the anomaly of only forehand.
And also she's got a really great distance on her forehand as well. But yeah, it's so impressive to watch Holyn do one after another effortless looking distance sidearm.
Hyzer.
Controlled. Yeah, Hyzer distance control sidearm.
Right.
We can't even say it. Because, no, you've got one too.
Not like that, but yeah, I mean, yes, but no.
Nice little chip shot from Paige up to the green. This is kind of a scary green to throw to uphill with some low-hanging branches. Look at all these faces staring at you. OB all the way around the backside. No problem for Missy.
Call it the giraffe head. I think the whole, if you look at the map, looks like a giraffe a bit.
It sure does.
Nice legs. Yeah. Yep. Long neck.
Yeah.
It's hole 18, the giraffe. It's a nice little touchy approach. Something Holyn talks about. That's not her bread and butter. It's well done.
Yeah, you can tell she's put a lot of work into it in the last 6 months or so because it's rare to see her blast by the baskets anymore.
Right. I mean,
really nice, smooth, touchy shots.
Mm-hmm. Seeing her performance last year in Virginia at Worlds, a few of those touchy backhand approach shots got away from her, and she lost because of it. And we've seen that really drive her for success.
Paige finishing out this tough hole with a birdie. She was unable to defend this year, but what a great showing. A birdie to finish. Holyn Handley.
Way to go. Pro Tour points leader. Picks up a win. Great way to end the West Coast.
All right, Oregon Disco. On behalf of Latitude 64, let's hear it for the winner of the 2025 Northwest Disc Golf Championship, Holyn Handley.
I think Oregon might officially be my favorite place to play. I think it's official with, you know, the good memories from last year, and like I found myself leaving Milo like really sad we weren't playing more rounds there. I'm going to be leaving here today sad we're not playing more rounds. But yeah, it feels awesome, and I really wanted this jacket to be honest. I mean, I knew 8 and 9 are 2 holes that I'm not as like confident about getting a birdie on. I was pretty happy actually with my tee shots both days on 8, just overturned a little bit. But I knew 10, 11, 12, 13, like that stretch was going to be super scoreable for me, especially 10, knowing that I had that roller play to get a ton of distance and give myself just a chip. And sure enough, that's where I was able to make the strokes back.
Tell us how you've ascended to the level of master when it comes to managing a course.
Honestly, it's a lot of watching how like Missy and Kristen and Owen play, because they, I think, are also really, really strong in that course management. But just knowing and being really honest with myself with like what are shots that I'm very good at even when I'm nervous, and let's see if we can break the course down into those shots, and then when I'm a little bit out of position, understanding when it's okay to push and when it's better to be a little conservative.
What can you do to find this version of yourself and break through when it comes to a major?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more of that really good course management and handling the nerves and handling the pressure a little bit better. I think that's what got the better of me in that final round of Worlds last year. Is it was just a lot, but I think I've learned from that. So, you know, hopefully when I get a shot, I'll handle it a little better.
Thank you for the show, Holyn.
All right, thank you guys.
what a weekend from Holyn Handley. It's funny, her course management to me looks like playing aggressive. Like her shots are so impressive, that her controlled like shots that she can execute while she's nervous is like the best shot you will see from a lot of the FPO field. So well deserved from Holyn Handley. What a big victory and what a flex. I am very excited to see the rest of Holyn Handley's season. A great finish from Missy Gannon as well, keeping up with someone that can throw so far. Missy Gannon, a course genius, and Paige Pierce in that third place position, not able to defend, but what a great showing from Paige, even sprinkling some bogeys. You have to have a very strong showing to stay in that third place position.
Yeah.
Jennifer Allen going to wrap up the top 4, sliding in from the chase card, right?
Yes.
I think.
Yep.
And yeah, what a great showing from Jen as well, coming out here and having a great finish last year in the Portland courses. That's going to wrap things up for us in the Northwest Disc Golf Championship. We got to see Milo. We got to see Glendoveer. We got a nice, well-rounded Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Plus tournament. And we're going to take a week off. Next up, we're going to be back at the Preserve in Minnesota. We got a nice long drive. Please come hang out with us there. And let's give a big round of applause to Allie Smith for coming and filling in this week for Erica Stinchcomb.
Thank you. I tried.
And don't forget, follow us on YouTube. We are at 500,000, almost, with your help. I think that's about it. You got anything you want to say?
Honk. I'm Allie Smith.
I'm Madison Walker.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.
Get a watch your body and I feel that sunshine. Get up on my body, know it truly, I feel fine.